Democratic Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill is jumping into next year's race for New Jersey governor. The former federal prosecutor and U.S. Navy helicopter pilot joins an already pretty crowded field to replace Governor Phil Murphy, who can't run again because of term limits.
All right, Representative Sherrill is now with us to tell us her plans for New Jersey if elected. Congresswoman, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, already a crowded field, 5 Democrats in the running already. You have mentioned, you released a video today sort of putting your goals, if elected as governor, affordability, NJ transit, sort of a lot of the issues we hear that have proven incredibly difficult to fix over time for a number of governors of both parties. How would you break the logjam and get some of these things fixed?
Well, I think that's exactly right. That's why I'm running for governor, because Trenton needs a new perspective and new leadership to really take on the hard challenges, and that's what I have a history of doing. I went to the Naval Academy, I was in the Navy, and you know there that you have to lead, follow, or get out of the way. And as you sort of alluded to, everyone knows what the problems are. We know that the cost of living here is too high. Not everyone has access to opportunity, that we need to protect our rights and freedoms here at home. What we need to do, though, is someone who's going to go down there and change the status quo. And again and again and again, I have been ready to take on those challenges. When people first said, oh, you're never going to be able to run in the 11th district of New Jersey, you'll never be able to win that seat as a Democrat, I took it on and then had the biggest red to blue flip in the nation. When I first got to Congress, people said, look, you're not going to be able to get anything done in your first couple of years. And yet, in only 2 terms, I was named the most effective legislator from New Jersey. So that's why I think if you want to know how I'm going to work as governor, look at my history, look at my record, look at my record of achievements and getting stuff accomplished.
And so you want to make the state more affordable for your voters watching, potential voters watching. How would you do that?
Well, I already have done a lot of work in this area. It's been my relentless focus. So whether it was getting state and local tax deduction cap passed through the House twice, or weighing in that nobody in this state, nobody in the country should be paying more than 7% of their income on child care. The legislation I have on grocery stores to add competition into the market and drive down cost, or the legislation I'm working on now and will be introducing shortly about how we are going to provide access to grant funds so that we can repurpose some of the office buildings or brownfields into housing. These are the kind of creative solutions we need in Trenton, and this is what I'm going to fight for to lower costs for New Jersey families.
All right, let's talk about the current state of play in Washington. Obviously, it hasn't even been 2 weeks since the election, which is sort of wild to think that. Obviously, we've seen some of President-elect Trump's cabinet nominees so far. He has small but certainly powerful majorities in the House and Senate. How are Democrats prepared to fight back in this political environment?
Well, I think our Democratic governors are prepared to fight back, and that's part of the reason I'm running, because it's not just that many of the things that Trump threatens to implement are against our ideals and values, but it's also an attack on the way our states run. So as people remember, Trump was the person who was the architect of the state and local tax deduction cap. He was the person who set up the court that took down Roe. Also, the president that refused, after infrastructure week after infrastructure week after infrastructure week, refused to fund the Gateway Tunnel. That's why I think we need strong leadership. We need strong Democratic governors who are going to forge that path forward and continue to deliver for the American people.
Are you concerned at all that being against Trump in a lot of ways could backfire in a state that really garnered the highest Republican vote this past election season, and people are fed up? Do you think that could backfire?
It's not about being against Trump. It's about fighting hard for New Jersey. When I'm fighting hard for New Jersey families, that's really compelling to people, and that's how I get stuff done. So if Trump wants to deliver for New Jersey, we're going to make sure he does that. But if he is going to attack everything that helps our economy work, that drives down prices for people, threats to our values, threats to our rights and our freedoms, then I'm going to fight him. That's, I think, how we're going to deliver here in New Jersey, not just how I'm going to deliver for people here, but how we're going to really lead the nation in fighting for things that so many families and so many people care about.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill, first of many conversations I'm sure we'll be having over the next year. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.